How we doing, everybody? This is Dave from Flash and Dance DJ and Production Services. So, here we are, Tech Tip Wednesday again, as always. Hope everybody's been enjoying my gig logs. Hope everybody's been enjoying what I've been doing with this multi-part series with Waves SuperRack, where I want to say that we are just about done with the entire series. And next week will be my thoughts and processes of why I eventually went to SuperRack and tried it. So, with that being said, today I'm going to use my the Redneck Castaway band, okay, because there are multiple electric guitars in the band. There are multiple acoustics. So what's cool about this is that I can show you between multiple different players the different settings. They are all based, as I've said in previous episodes, that all my plugins are based around the same thing. The reason why is they just simply work. So with that being said, I'm going to turn this so you'd be my perspective in front of me, and I'll walk you through. And we're going to do, so we have multiple people in the band. We have Leo, we have Danny, we have, and we used to have Rick, and now and I have to work on Steve's guitars. So I haven't worked with these guys yet this year. I've done many shows in the last 4 years with them, and I've got things situated pretty well. I just don't know what the new guitar player, Steve, what his setup is yet. So that's why I'm saying I have to work on his. And his I can work on the day of the show, because everybody else will be there except for Leo at the Jetty. It's as you see in some of the gig log pictures, it's a tiny place. I'll be honest with you, Love Sexy barely fit. And they had, going across the stage, starting on this side, they had a keyboard player, then they had the guitar player in front, then they had the guy who played the former artist that went to Assemble, then they had the drummer in the back, and he took up a huge piece of real estate on the stage, and then you had a guitar player, bass player, and then you had the keyboard player that also played flute and like piccolo and stuff like that. And they also had a sax, last week's had a sax player that joined on and off. Anyway, let's get into this. So here we go. And I'm going to turn the camera so you can actually see this. So like I said, this is as if you were from my perspective, okay? So, as you can see here is Leo, okay? And we're gonna click on it. So this is Leo's acoustic channel. So as you can see right here, it says acoustic guitar, okay? So as you can see, as I had said before, we're doing the SSL channel, we're doing the C6, the Vitamin, and the CLA 76. So basically on the acoustic channels, I do this, but the thing is, depending upon the acoustic, we're dealing with the kind of acoustic, or like Leo's an instrumentalist, so sometimes it's a banjo, sometimes it's a acoustic guitar, sometimes it's a fiddle. So I have to, even though this is set up for an acoustic, there's certain things like with the gate, like the gate is off right now because you don't really need it on that, but if you notice, the compression settings will change. Some of this stuff will change as well. And then on the C6, it's acoustic body, which that basically allows a lot of presence in whatever instrument he's playing. It allows it to pop up in the mix. So he's got an effects board. I think it's the Fender Tone Master, I think it's called. And if he pushes on his volume pedal a little bit more, it will increase his volume, and that helps in this, right in this area right here. on here and here. And then if we go to the vitamin, as you can see, a lot of the low end is taken out because in these particular instruments that he plays, you don't need a lot of the low end. It's not like he's sending bass signals into the PA. And then obviously I'm using this, the CLA 76, which normally, as you can see here, is set to that right there, set to the acoustic guitar. So that's the settings for the acoustic. Okay, now on his electric side, okay, as you can see, it's still here. I use the same settings on this because it just seems to make his electric pop out for some reason. And see, his actually has almost like a smiley face a little bit. And then on here, as you can see, he has a little bit of this because he does have 2 or 3 different electrics he plays. So, you know, this raises that up a little bit. So the mid-range. And then, as you can see, this is all the same. This is pretty much except for the compressor settings. They're a little bit different. So now, so here's Danny's acoustic. Now, see, here's the difference. On Danny's, I have a gate on. The reason why is because Danny turns his acoustic on and off. And he also doesn't play with a pick. He plays with his fingers. You know, he's not finger picking or anything like that, but he's strumming with his fingers because he's just doing fill-in chords in between what everybody else is doing. And then on the C6, I have the same thing, the acoustic body. So this allows his, I believe it's a Martin he plays, has a little bit of body to it. And look at the difference in the EQ that I have for his. I have this more as a picking EQ because I want more of the body of the guitar to come out because he's doing more of the rhythm work. And in the whole process of this band, he's doing a lot of that rhythm. So he's filling in the gaps that are missing. And then same thing here. This is actually on the acoustic setting. See, right there, acoustic guitar. Okay, and then his electric, which is a straight clean signal, does not change at all. So this one is set to the electric setting. I'm just not sure which one. It's just set to straight guitar. Not in your face or anything like that. I just want it if he hits a certain, like if he strums a little hard, I just want this to tap is what I call it. So that's basically what that hand signal is. And now, same thing. I'm using the same kind of guitar setup, except in this particular version of his, I have the low and the low mid brought up a little bit. So that way there's a tiny, tiny bit of low end in his. And as you can see, this is electric B, which has a little bit more of a subtle curve to it. And then if you notice, there's no gate on here. The filters, however, are actually active on this because I have very specific. And if you look at like the low cut, the low mid, you know, there's a lot going on in there and it helps define his guitar. So now we go to page 2 and now this is going to be Steve. Okay. So like I said, I have nothing set in his yet. I will wait until he plays. So as you can see, you can actually just reset it. So I will, once I hear if he's running straight C, so everything is all set flat right now, all reset on his. So that just gives you an idea of what the guitars do. So I'm going to put you back over here. So this way you can see me. So I just hope everybody enjoyed this little walkthrough on all my different presets that I use, whether it be vocals, drums, bass, guitar, you know, no matter what it is, samples, whatever it is. I know we didn't really cover samples, but that's because I just put them in, same as at the processing, I put the SSL, the C6, the Vitamin, and the CLA 76 all in line. Those are, so like the CLA 76, they're all set flat, believe it or not, in the samples channel. And all I'm using it for is to do the same exact processing, just with nothing there, where it's just flat. So like the SSL, I love the SSL, as I stated before. It warms my channels up. There's just something inherent what it does. I don't know. Same thing goes for the CLA 76. There's a blackie and there's a bluey. For some reason, I just like what the bluey is doing. Can't explain it. It's just something I've grown to love. So with that being said, I hope everybody has enjoyed this dive into these products that I use, that I love and enjoy. And then on top of that, make sure you stay tuned for the gig log on Monday, which is going to be interesting. I'm supposed to be going to the Jetty on Friday at some point, probably when they open, because what's going to end up, and I might not even be able, I might have to figure that one out, because I think I have a birthday party that night. I'm not even sure. I got to check my schedule. But I know that I have a family member's birthday party coming up, and then I'm supposed to be going to Players to meet Tim from the Jetty. And then Saturday, I have karaoke at the Lakeville Country Club. And then on Sunday, which I will shoot, I don't know if I'll do an all-day time lapse or if I'm going to do a partial time lapse, only because it is a fundraiser and there's a lot going on. So I will probably shoot a time lapse of the setup. I don't know what direction I'm going to shoot it in. I don't know if I'm going to shoot it from front of house perspective or if I'm going to shoot it from stage perspective. I really don't know yet. That's going to be a toss-up once I get there. So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, and share these videos, and comment down below if there's something I didn't cover inside of Waves SuperRack Performer that you'd like me to talk about. You know, these videos are not possible without all of you watching them, commenting, sending me comments, sending me questions. I think one of the next things I want to cover is going to be probably about my wireless setup, my IEM setup, you know, my main tall rack, which I'll probably do a time lapse. I've got to put that back together. My trailer has some stuff in it from something I did for a family, and tomorrow I'm supposed to get my mower back, but it's supposed to rain and a few other things, so that's neither here nor there. So we'll think about things anyway. So with that being said, make sure you treat everybody how you want to be treated, and on top of that, don't forget, learn one thing every day, so that way you can become a better person. And with that being said, I will see you on Monday for the gig log.